Hey, we're Mika and Joe, a married couple from South Jersey, showing you the real side of travel. From Iceland to the UAE, we break down every detail, planning, budgets, and what it actually costs. No hype, no BS, just honest, transparent travel. Follow us at MJTravels 856 and travel smarter with us. Thank you for watching. Hello again. Welcome back to MJTravels. Thanks for clicking on the thumbnail and checking us out. If you're back, thanks for returning. If you're new, like and subscribe. This is my wife, Mika. My name is Joe. And this is, I don't know what video this is. Third video?
No idea.
Video? Well, it's in a series of videos that we're doing to go over our Greek and Turkey cruise that we took a few months ago. And this video is going to be about Istanbul, the 2 days we spent in Istanbul. I think it was a Friday and a Saturday. We were on the Celebrity Infinity. If you want to hear about that ship, go back and look at our other videos. We did a pretty extensive review, probably a few months ago at this point, about the Infinity. So you pull into port in Istanbul, and you're kind of like right in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's like a little plaza you have to go through with a little tiny immigration thing, and they give you this card. What's it called?
I don't remember what it's called.
They give you this card. If you're a cruise passenger, if you're visiting Turkey, Istanbul via plane or something, you probably go through actual customs and everything else. But if you're going through, coming in via cruise, they give you this little card you have to carry on your person at all times, and you need that to get back on the ship. They do check it, so it's not something that, they don't check or whatever.
Don't throw it at the bottom of your bag.
Don't do that. Have it handy. They do ask for it. The border guards at the terminal or whatever it is, they do ask for it. They do check it. Do they check it against any ID or anything like that? No. Or they just make sure you have it. They just make sure you have it. But yeah, security, probably of all the ports we went to, security was tightest there.
Very much so.
And police presence in Turkey is pretty robust. I mean, right? They say that word a lot, but it was, it's very safe. And probably because of the amount of police and stuff that they have around. But you come out, it's like a little shopping mall. It's really interesting. It's like more like a cruise terminal you'd see in the United States, but a little bit more upscale, I guess.
It was a mall. I mean, it literally was a mall. It had like fancy stores, a Pandora, and all different kinds of stores in there.
Yeah, and they have some nice restaurants and stuff. So if you're not brave enough to venture out into the controlled chaos that Istanbul can be sometimes, I think. Is that a good way to describe it or no?
I think it was a very nice city. It was large, it was busy, but it had ways to get around. It was convenient. It was nice.
Yeah, it is bustling city.
Yeah,
though, right. It's it's a city.
It's not Dubai kind of crowded, but there's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there. But I guess that's really if you're not brave enough or you don't want to experience that, you can get off of the ship and spend time on land and do your shopping and stuff there without really going out, because there's another security point when you get to the end of that to go into the city pretty much. It's like you leave that mall and then you're in kind of a park, and then or you leave the mall, you go through security, and then you're kind of in the park, and there's like a metro station right there or a trolley station that you can get on and go wherever you want to go in Istanbul. They have really good public transportation. It's very cheap. They will tell you, first thing I will tell you about that is when you get off, and Mika remembers this, they tell you, oh, you got to get the Metro card or whatever, and that's normal. Like if you've ever been to England or anywhere else in Europe, every one of these cities has their own Metro card, their own network, and that's pretty much how it's done. Istanbul, they have the readers, the credit card readers when you go into the thing. So I know it's like that in Philadelphia where you can just take your credit card and scan it and it'll just charge you directly rather than getting a card and loading it and everything else. So if you're going, just skip that. Get one of your credit cards. I'm sure everybody has a credit card or a debit card that has an RF chip in it. Just tap and go through, because the line when we got off the ship was really long to get that.
The line was kind of stupid too, because there were men at the front of the line who were taking people's credit cards and like trying to help them load the
Money
tram
onto
cards.
The tram card.
Yeah. And I was nervous because I don't want anybody else touching my card, but it seemed kind of scammy. Like, why are you just standing out here, random person, helping me load money onto my card?
Yeah, I was waiting for the them to ask us for money kind of thing when we were there. But it wasn't. They were there. I guess they were just good Samaritans, or maybe they were police, or maybe they worked for the transportation company or something. But they were trying to get people through that as quick as possible.
It didn't seem like it, or they would have loaded your card correctly, and they didn't load our card correctly, which is why I got stuck, and we ended up figuring out that all you had to do was tap your credit card.
Yeah, we'll get to that, though. That's a little bit later on. When you do go into the city, you are going to see a lot of people that are going to ask you if you need a taxi ride, if you need tours, if you need this or that. You don't need a taxi in Istanbul. Traffic is horrendous in the city. So a lot of the times if you decide to travel by taxi, it's going to take longer than it would be if you were to walk, because there are a lot of things that are walkable. In fact, I think we walked mostly.
Yeah, everything was very close. And if it wasn't close, we took the tram to cross the bridge.
Yeah. Or the trolleys or subways that they have. Very convenient, laid out, very thoughtfully and near most of the tourist kind of things that you're going to want to see when you're in the city. First thing we did was we jumped on the trolley and literally rode it maybe a mile and a half, maybe less, to get to the square, the main tourist square of Istanbul that you see on the postcards and everything else. I don't know what the square is called, but has the Blue Mosque and the Hagia Sophia, and a couple other little sites are in that area as well.
Topkapi Palace.
Topkapi Palace is there.
The Cistern Basilica.
Cistern Basilica is there. And so the first day we went, that's where we went right away, thinking we were going to kind of beat the crowds to those places. Problem on Friday, though, when we were there, the mosque was closed. So that meant instead of 4 things to see there were really only 3. So there was a large line to get into the Hagia Sophia. How long were we in line?
It was a while.
Maybe 2 hours.
It was
right?
2 lines, because you had to stand in one line to actually purchase the ticket, and then you had to go to the other line, which was a good, city block or more to actually get into the
Hagia Sophia.
Hagia Sophia.
Yeah, and everything is controlled there. They have security at the entrance of the Hagia Sophia. So that's really what's taken long. They control how many people can go in, because it is a mosque right now. The Hagia Sophia was built as a Roman church, and for a lot of its history, it was a Greek Orthodox church, Eastern Orthodox church. Then it became a museum, and then the current president of Turkey decided it was going to become a mosque again, because the city changed hands. I don't think it changed hands too many times, but it used to be a Christian city, the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, Constantinople, conquered by the Seljuk Turks, and became Istanbul. And when that happened, they took the church away, then they gave the church back, and then it became a museum, and then now it's a mosque again. So you have people in there praying, and you're supposed to be quiet when you're in there, and everything else. There are some amazing things to see.
It's pretty cool.
In Hagia Sophia. Some old frescoes and artwork. The tile work is incredible. Old stuff, thousands of, goes back to the time, a couple hundred years after the death of Christ. And it's something to behold when you're in there. They do have most of the Christian iconography, or what's that called? The Christian icons.
Murals, I don't know.
Yeah, the Christian icons that you would normally see in the church while you're on the floor praying as a Muslim, those are covered up. So you can't see they have a huge mural on the ceiling of the Virgin Mary and baby Jesus and a bunch of other things around the upper level of the church. All the stuff on the lower level is blocked off, and you do not get to go into the lower level because it's a mosque.
It was active.
Yeah, it was active. Praying. In the mosque. But the main mosque is the Blue Mosque, and that was closed. Hagia Sophia, you're going to Istanbul, you have to do it. I don't care how long the line is, whatever, you have to do it. Not cheap. It was $55 a person, so it was $110 for us both to go in. And you're not in there for a long time.
Because it's not, you look around, you take some pictures, you feel the feels, and you leave. There's not a whole lot to see.
It's like a 30-minute experience.
Yeah. Pretty
much, right? It's about 30 minutes. And then after that, what did we do next after the Hagia Sophia on the first day?
Did we go to the Cistern, or we went to Topkapi Palace? We spent a lot of time.
Top Copy Palace was before we left. We did that last. It was
Oh.
like the last thing we did.
Then I think we went to.
I think we went to the Cistern because
Yeah.
that was like the Cistern. Was it Cistern Basilica?
Mhm.
Was an unexpected kind of highlight of the trip for me. I didn't really look into it or what to expect, but Mika was talking about it.
Something I wanted to do.
Yeah, she was talking about it the whole time. She goes, "Oh, it's an ancient cistern underwater. You know, where the Romans. It was It was kind of where they stored the drinking water for the city back in the ancient days when it was a Roman city, and I'm sure the Turks used it too back in ancient times." That was a little bit less. It's like $45 a person to go see that, so $90 for the two of us. The line for that's incredibly long too. But there are two lines.
Yeah, you got to know what you're doing, and you got to ask questions, and you got to use your eyes because there are two lines. There are the line where people made reservations, and that line was incredibly long. And then right next to it, real close, there's another line where if you're just purchasing tickets, you can pretty much, slide right up to the ticket counter and go right in.
Yeah, it was like the difference between like a 15-minute wait or like a 2-hour wait.
Yeah.
So if you plan on doing that, don't buy your tickets ahead. I mean, that was our experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It might be different on different days, but we didn't have tickets. We're standing in the line, and someone's like, "Do you guys already have tickets?" And we were like, "No." And you're like, "Well, you're supposed to go in that other line." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And
there wasn't really a line.
Walked up. We were 15 minutes, and we were down there. So that's like an underground cistern, and there's walking kind of gangways, I guess, like things to walk, and you can see the water, and it's lit up really nice down there.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty, really cool. We have videos and pictures that are probably on the screen right now. But yeah, really cool place. Unexpected highlight. We spent more time down there than we did in the mosque or in the Hagia Sophia. Really?
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's cool down there too. So if you're sensitive to temperatures, and if you go down there in the summertime and it's 90 some degrees up on the street, it's going to be in probably the low 70s, high 60s underground because it's completely brick covered concrete, not concrete. It's just brick, water, and it's cold down there. So if you're sensitive to that, make sure you have a hoodie. You had to put your sweatshirt on, I think, when we went down. So yeah, was definitely a highlight of the whole trip. In my opinion, it's like the coolest place to go.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty much the coolest place in the city that we went. And from there, we went to the Grand Bazaar. And if you've been to bazaars in other Middle Eastern countries, it's pretty much kind of the same. What you're going to see there and the things that are going to be available for sale. You're going to have candy. You're going to have spices. You're going to have clothing. One thing about Turkey, and I think we covered it in another video, there are designer shops everywhere in Turkey. They're not real. If you watch one of our other videos, all the stuff is fake. And we spent the better part of entire time in Turkey pretty much trying to find a hoodie that just said Turkey on it.
Yeah, Istanbul or Turkey.
Istanbul or Turkey. And were you ever successful in finding one?
Yeah, I found one that said Istanbul, but it was a hunt. It was at the Grand Bazaar, because we looked for one in Ephesus and there was absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did find one. And that's where we got the Turkish light too, the mosaic Turkish lamp.
Yeah, the Turkish lamp.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like Gucci hoodies, all the designers, Balenciaga, like everything that you can think of, except for something that just says the name of the city or the name of the country with maybe their flag on it. We're just looking for something simple. Mika buys a hoodie pretty much everywhere we go, like without fail. So she didn't want a fake Balenciaga hoodie. Like, didn't want that. Like, nobody, like, why would you want that? People must buy them. If you buy them, that's your thing. I'm not knocking it.
No.
But that's not what Mika's looking for. I mean, we're looking for just something that says Turkey or whatever.
Right.
Something plain, doesn't need to be a Nike hoodie or, anything like that. Just a plain hoodie. It's like a souvenir, and she wears them all the time. You have more hoodies than probably anybody I've ever met.
I need a whole closet for hoodies. I really do.
Yeah. So I think in the wintertime, you rarely see Mika wear a hoodie more than once throughout the whole winter.
Probably.
Is that probably accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could wear a different hoodie every single day. Get one of those every time you're going around the bazaar. Sales in Turkey is, and I think we covered it in the Kusadasi video. Sales in Turkey are pretty aggressive. You know, you gotta don't make eye contact. Keep going. They're gonna come into my shop. I got a good deal for you. The whole full court press of them trying to sell you something, even if it's something, you know, it's like jewelry, watches, which all that stuff's probably fake too there. You know, I don't know about the jewelry, but the watches and stuff, they have Rolex watches, this, that, you know, everything there. But we were told on the ship and through some of the research we did before we went that don't buy anything like that and expect it to be real.
Well, you know what? This ring I got, it's an evil eye ring I got in Crete. And it's sterling silver. It's got to be real because it hasn't turned my finger yet. And it's pretty nice. It's held up. I like it. That must have been real. It's probably the only real thing.
That was in Crete, though.
It was in Crete.
That wasn't in Turkey. Turkey seems like there's a lot of like, it's like knockoffs is like a very big industry there, right?
Yeah.
So after doing that on the first day, Mika was hungry. We were out pretty much for the whole day because we eat breakfast on the ship and then we go out and we have our adventure. So some days we sit down and have lunch. Other days we don't. We did not sit down and have lunch at this point. And our dinner on the ship wasn't until like 8:30.
Right. And I was actually looking for something in particular that meal. Remember that we had the Bosphorus in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I don't know what it's called. And Mika probably, you don't know what the actual name of the dish is. It's a classic Turkish kind of dish. And it's in a kind of a pot, and it's vegetables and peppers and, you know, are there potatoes in that?
No.
Just vegetables.
It's vegetables, chicken. It's in a sauce.
Or lamb or any other kind of meat that you would want. They have it anyway. It's in like a tomato-based sauce that's kind of, doesn't taste like spaghetti sauce. It's like a Middle Eastern kind of, I don't want to say a curry because it's not curry either. Because Mika don't eat curry. And they put this like bread shell over it, and when they serve it to you, they kind of roll that back, and you eat the stuff inside, and you use that bread to dip up the sauce, and it's really, really good. We had that when we were in Abu Dhabi, and it was Mika's mission to try to find that in Turkey. We're walking around to all these shops, very, very similar to Athens with the food offerings in Istanbul, in the touristy areas. I think that's very true because Mika found what we had in Abu Dhabi and showed it to a person on the shop, and a person in a restaurant, and he kind of laughed. He goes, "You're not going to get that around here."
No.
He goes, "You're going to have to go like an hour, 45 minutes outside the city to probably a more local restaurant, not one that's servicing that is for people from all over different parts of the world." So the food you're getting at one of these places, these cafes that are on the side of the street or, you know, wherever in Istanbul, it's like they all kind of sell the same stuff.
It's tourist food.
It's tourist food. It's like hamburgers. It's
French fries,
souvlaki, like lamb on it, you know, meat skewers. It's kebabs. You know, it's the same stuff at any of these places that you go. The prices are all pretty much the same. But I will tell you, an outdoor dining experience in Istanbul near the tourist areas, look out, because they have all these kids that are like grade school and middle school age kids that just come up to your table and they try to sell you junk. Yeah. Like a phone case, iPod stands, or some other goofy little thing, socks, t-shirts.
Terrible.
Everything. While you're just sitting there trying to have lunch or relax and decompress for a minute.
Constantly harass you.
Constantly.
One after another. The lady at the table next to us just started cursing out one of them.
Yeah, they were German ladies.
Yeah,
and they were
laid into that kid.
She pretty much kind of lost her shit, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were very respectful to the kids and stuff, but I don't know. At some point, I guess you got to be a little bit firmer with them for them to leave you alone, because it's the same group of kids and you kind of all see them congregate and they take turns going through the restaurant. And what is really frustrating about it is the owners of the restaurant, I would think that they would want their customers not to be harassed. It doesn't seem to be that way. It seems like there's an agreement between the people who control these kids, because I'm sure these kids are not just entrepreneurial on their own. There's probably some handler that gives them this stuff and tells them to go out and sell it to tourists. But they just come right in and they just, I didn't see them going into any places, but if you're sitting outside, they were hitting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And they would come over and they would do the little thing, just walk right up to you, don't say hello or anything, and kind of expect you to buy this stuff. So you do kind of have to get a little bit, and it does get frustrating because not exaggerating, probably 2 dozen at least during the time we were sitting there.
And we weren't sitting there long because I was getting frustrated, and it was making me sick. Like, let me fork this in and let's just get out of here.
Right, because it was frustrating. That is the negative part of Istanbul. There is like a hustling kind of culture there a little bit, where people are trying to hustle you and make money and everything else. And I can kind of understand that a little bit, but everybody has their limits. I have my limits. Mika has her limits. The German ladies that were next to us, their limits were a lot shorter than ours, because she just straight up just started yelling at these kids. Pretty much get the F out of here. And it wasn't like, whoa, you're overreacting, because it was ridiculous. So if you can avoid eating in a tourist area outside, I would say go ahead and do it. Because we had another meal that we sat outside for a little bit later on in another part of the city, and not the same experience. We'll get to that. So at the end of day one, we pretty much went back to the ship, because it was a full day. We were out off the ship as early as we possibly could. Got up early, ate, got out, experienced the city. Day two, we traveled around quite a bit more, right?
Yeah. Because we did both sides. We did the Asian side and the European side.
Right. So day two, we had to go back to that main tourist hub area, right? Because of the mosque. The Blue Mosque was open, so we were able to go inside the Blue Mosque. Blue Mosque is free. It is. You don't have to pay to go there. The line is long.
Make sure, ladies, you're wearing your head covering, please. I mean, at the Blue Mosque, they do give you one, but I don't know if you want foreign
they probably
stuff
just
in your hair.
Reuse them. I don't think they're washing them.
So just make sure you bring, a shawl, a scarf, something to cover your hair with, and that goes with the Hagia Sophia also. Yeah,
you have to cover your head. Can't wear shorts, right? No shorts. They gotta go. I think guys can wear shorts, but they have to go down past their knees. Yeah. But just in general, if you're going into a religious building, or going to a place that, has these kind of significant religious buildings that you're going to visit, like, respect their culture. You know what I mean? Like, it's always a good idea to do that.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
It's easy to do. If you're going anywhere in the Middle East, if you're a woman, bring something to cover your head. In more liberal places like Turkey's pretty liberal. You see women walking around dressed similar to how they are here. It's definitely not like the UAE or something like that. But they take it gets serious when you decide to go into the mosque or into any of their culturally significant buildings. You got to follow the rules. This isn't home, so don't treat it like home. Treat it like you're a guest, because you're a guest there. But second day, went to the Blue Mosque. We'll tell you, the Blue Mosque is not as impressive as the Hagia Sophia.
The outside was very cool.
Yeah.
The spires and all that was...
The minarets.
Yeah, beautiful. They were pretty cool. But, I wasn't as impressed with the inside as I was with the
Hagia Sophia. And the Blue Mosque is almost as old as the Hagia Sophia. It was built by the Sultan after they had conquered the city, to kind of rival the church that was already there. And it's pretty much the same size, but just how ornate it is on the inside is not even in comparison. It's kind of, one's free and one you have to pay, $55 to get into. So that should probably tell you all you really need to know. Mm-hmm. But it is worth seeing. You go in, it's a very ancient mosque. It's, very historical. The outside is absolutely stunning. That whole area, really, outside, just looking, seeing the grandeur of just these buildings that were built thousands of years, not thousands, but over 1,000 years ago, is just amazing. Stuff like that. The Topkapi Palace, that was also $55 a person to get into. That is a place that you can spend as much time there as you want. If you're not into history or, of the Ottoman Empire,
Because it's a museum. I
It
mean, it's a
is.
palace, but they've turned it into a museum. Each
Right.
little room has, there's kitchenware from,
the period.
and there's like clothes, and there's, the, what do you call the beds where the Sultan would sit on?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
There's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, they have pretty much everything. You can walk the entire grounds. It's huge. It is huge, and it is a little bit of a maze, I think. We had a little bit of trouble finding our way out of that place after we'd seen everything we wanted to see, but we pretty much saw everything in there. And very fascinating. It's where the Sultan used to live, for a very long time. And that was pretty much where he lived with all of his servants, and we saw different chambers where he would have audience, and there'd be this huge pillow type bed in the thing and a fireplace, and very ornate palace. One of the biggest palaces, probably the biggest palace I've ever been in. We've been in ones in, England and Italy and stuff like that. And this was much, much bigger, on a much bigger scale. But yeah, if you want to learn anything about the Ottoman Empire, you can learn it and see it there. They have armory with a lot of like cool weapons and suits of armor and stuff like that. So if you got kids with you, they'll definitely want to see that stuff. Jewels, yeah, the some of the Turkish crown jewels. I don't know if they're the real ones or not. Like sometimes I think they put the fake ones out just to protect them. You don't really want that there, considering what happened in France a couple days ago as we're recording this. It got like broken into the Louvre, and they stole a bunch of and it was real stuff. It wasn't like the show stuff. So that's a problem. And I'm thinking like a lot of countries might be rethinking what they actually put out to see. There might be stuff for the tourists to see and say, this is what they look like, but they're not the actual set, which is, I think in England,
the crown jewels,
in the Tower of London, they're not the real crown jewels. Those are kept under lock and key, and the public generally doesn't see them, except during coronations and baptisms and stuff like that for the king or prince or princess, queen type stuff. Yeah, Topkapi Palace. If you're not really into history, I mean, I guess you could skip it. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, most people are probably only going to be to Istanbul once.
But I'm not really into history too. That kind of thing bores me. But I like looking at fancy, ornate stuff. There's with the room with the plates and the dishes from that different countries, China.
The
like
gifts.
I like looking, that kind of stuff. The clothes that they used to wear, the little kids, and it's not really, I don't know, history for me. It's just cool looking.
Yeah, like they had a whole room there where it was like nothing but, it was a couple rooms, I think, where it was like gifts that like foreign emissaries would bring for the Sultan. Like there's stuff there from like the representative from the United States of America in like 1812 or something like that. And, he brought the guy, a revolver like engraved or something with his name, really cool stuff. Like it's like a cultural item from wherever they're from. Like there was like a whole samurai suit of armor in there, samurai swords, these ornate kind of dragon statues and figurines that the Chinese brought them during their visits. Stuff from every corner of the globe, because the Ottoman Empire from about like the 1400s to right up until a little bit before World War I, they were like one of the preeminent forces in the world. Very important for trade, diplomacy. They controlled a lot of territory, so everybody kind of had to go talk to them and do business. Otherwise, they could make it kind of hard on you. After Topkapi Palace, we went to what's that area where the boats were? Is that where we went next?
Oh, down by the bridge
river
that took us from the
Asia side
to the European side.
Yeah.
I don't know what that bridge was called, but it's the area where they have, I guess if people watch many of these videos, it's the area where they have the boat restaurants, where they have the fish fries on the boat.
Yeah, they grill fish, not even grilled. It's on a flat top. It's mackerel. And mackerel isn't something that we usually eat that much in the West. It gets turned into cat food. It's a very oily, bony little fish. I I won't eat the stuff. Mika wouldn't eat the stuff. You can smell it. It's really cool what they do because they have these boats kind of like tied off right next to the pier, and they have little sitting areas and stuff. And it is cheap. You can get like a sandwich and a beer and some French fries and stuff like that, and sit there. And you're outside. You're in the middle of the city. It is a cool vibe. You're right on the river. It's cool to see, and I saw it on a travel video, like a food video for Istanbul. Any of that place is always shown. If you've seen if you're doing research for your trip on Istanbul, and you've seen people go there to eat, it is a cool place to go and see and visit, and it's not out of the way. You're probably just going to stumble upon it.
Yeah, it's right on the Bosphorus. So if you're taking a river cruise, you're gonna see it. If you're gonna cross, from one side to the other, you're gonna see it. And that's what we did. We walked the bridge across the Bosphorus and went to the other side, and we made our way up to Galata Tower.
Yeah, Galata Tower. That was let's walk. All right, let's walk.
I'm always good for a let's walk.
So we walked across the bridge.
20 miles later.
And we got across the bridge, and then we had to walk like maybe another mile, and then there was this left-hand turn. And I looked at the left-hand turn, and it was probably like a 20-degree angle up, walking up, because this is a tower that's on top of a hill that's on the top basically of the city where you can see the whole city. So we walked up that. We did. And it's tough. It's not easy. Like the people are going up and down on mopeds, and people on the mopeds are struggling to get up this hill. That's how steep it is. And it's long. Once you get up there, it is rewarding. Galata Tower is cool. We did not go in to go to the top because it was like $55. And the tower, there was a line to get up there, but just...
Yeah, we took some pictures, took in the scenery. And, the people and stuff up there. There's restaurants and stores up there.
And what's the street called?
We made our way to Istanbul Street.
Yeah, Istanbul Street. And while we were like around Galata Tower, we started seeing a lot of people wearing Galatasaray football shirts and T-shirts and stuff like that. And we're like, oh, there must be like a match or something today. So I looked at my phone. Lo and behold, they're playing another team. And the stadium is a little bit outside of the city. So, but obviously this area of Istanbul is where those fans go to pregame before going to the match. And as kind of the day got longer, it got like kind of louder and it got a little bit crazier. And again, these are sports fans from a different, these are not American sports fans. They are they're passionate. Didn't see any opposing team kind of colors anywhere, because that would definitely be a bad idea, in that part of the town. If you're there to visit, if you're a visiting fan, you're probably not going to that part of Istanbul.
Yeah. No, yeah. They were bringing TVs out into the street. The bars were like open, they were prepping.
Yeah.
Little kids were getting their faces painted in the yellow and red or golden red or whatever. So there's probably a lot of people on the street there watching the games at these bars and stuff. Turkey is a Muslim country and they're Muslim people, but these people drink beer. They drink beer. They like beer. We asked, I asked somebody, where's the stadium? He goes, there's a train right here. It takes you right there. That's pretty much it. And while we were kind of leaving the city, we saw groups of people moving in that direction to kind of get ready to go, because I think they're playing at 7 o'clock at night or something like that. But our ship was leaving before that.
Yeah, our ship was leaving kind of right at that time. If it was Friday night game or something like that, we probably would have went to it, and just stayed out really late or whatever. But
and Istanbul Street, as we walked down the street, they even had a store for them. We stopped in there, and people were in there buying merch and everything.
Yeah, the G Shop. Or that's what's called, right? The G Shop, Galatasaray's team store. They have one on Istanbul Street, like Mika said. Istanbul Street is kind of interesting too, because it seems like it's kind of like a one-stop shop for all of your retail kind of needs.
It's kind of like the Champs-Elysees, but a cheaper version of it.
Yeah, I guess. They had all the designers and stuff there, though, right? Pretty much, some.
Yeah, it's not as fancy.
There wasn't
there was
Prada
no Louis
store,
there was no Prada or anything like that.
High-end stores, they had a Pandora, I think, and some kind of moderately high-end stuff, I guess. But it is a scene. It's like a vibe up there, I guess, as the kids say. There is a Roman Catholic church up there too, which is very interesting, and it's protected by the army. So
There's a tank out front.
yeah, armored vehicle out front protecting this Catholic church. So there is a Christian population in the city, and that's, I think, where they pretty much all go, but they're under armed protection all the time. So just to give you kind of an idea of where you're at, because there's a lot of people in Istanbul from a lot of different parts of the Middle East that aren't necessarily Turkish. You know, I know they took in a lot of refugees from Syria and, you know, places that aren't nice, I guess, you know, places that we probably wouldn't visit. But yeah, they have to guard the Roman Catholic Church with a armored fighting vehicle and probably an entire platoon of soldiers armed. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was surprising. I mean, not really when you think about it, but, you know, it is what it is. We went to the end of Istiklal Street, pretty much the end, and it opens up into this large square where I looked at the history of this square. There were like, it kind of was like the home of like every incident that ever happened with foreign fans in soccer, where their team would travel to there to play Galatasaray in Champions League or whatever, some competition. Every incident ever happened. Stabbings, big fights, riots, everything kind of happened in this one big square. And there was a restaurant off to the side, and we saw a kitty cat.
Chicken Charlie. Chicken
Charlie the kitty cat. I have pictures and some videos that he'll be showing up probably right about now. Tripod, right? He had a bad wheel. Or he was pretending he had a bad wheel. begging for food. And Mika...
But, well, the reason we stopped was because I was looking at menus because, again, we were getting hungry. And this place had the meal that I was looking for.
Yeah, the tomato, chicken, and pepper thing.
So yeah. I was like, oh, let's try it. I mean... Yeah,
because, again, we were tired again, and the ship was leaving, and we didn't have dinner until 8:30. So we had to eat something. So we sat there, and we got that. We saw this cat. And Mika, they give you quite a bit of food. It's a large portion. So Mika's eating her food, and she hands me a piece of chicken to give to the cat. And I take the piece of chicken, I give it to the cat. She hands me another piece of chicken, I give it to the cat. By about the third piece of chicken, I noticed what she was doing. She was like sucking off the like spicy tomato broth juice sauce that the chicken is in, and then giving it to me to give to the cat so he wouldn't get a bad little tummy ache.
Yeah, he looked homeless.
He was definitely a homeless cat.
He had sad eyes. He had a bum paw, or so he said.
Yeah, he was playing like he did. Because when we were done eating, and obviously
he
had no
ran
more food,
away.
He just ran away like fine, like normal. Like he probably like suckers. I got him.
He had a full meal though. His
stomach
was full.
Yeah, because they give you a lot of. There was a lot of food. Yeah, it was a lot of food. So yeah, it was. Istanbul was. One of the great cities of the world, I think, from a beauty and his history standpoint. I think if you ever get a chance to go, ignore the things that we said that were critical, because you'll run into those things in a lot of other parts of the world. This isn't uncommon. The aggressive sales tactics and the security measures in place. There are a lot of parts of the world that have these same kind of things that you'll see. Other places that we've been in Europe, you know, you see the same levels of security, aggressive sales, maybe not the aggressive sales tactics.
Places like Jamaica, well, not in the stores. I felt like I was on a beach in Jamaica, like just being hounded by people trying to sell me something, you know? That's what it kind of felt like.
Yeah, a little bit, you know, in certain parts. If you're in the bazaar, that's definitely what it is. And they know who the tourists are. I try to blend in and I try to walk like a normal person. I'm like a 6'5" white guy with a red beard. Like, they know I'm a tourist. I'm usually wearing like an American sports team type shirt or something. So yeah, they know. But yeah, so go to Istanbul. Don't not go because of everything here. It's definitely something to see. There's no place like it. And when we left, like on the cruise ship, and I'm going to show this at the end of the video. Probably one of the most beautiful, most breathtaking sailboats I think I've ever experienced as a cruiser. Just absolutely breathtaking. You'll see it. It's coming up. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We got more coming. MJTravels.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks.